What's going on, you guys? This is Aaron from Departures Capital. We're here with Michael Williams, Chairman and Director at Aftermath Silver. Nice to have you back, Michael. How are you doing today?
Hey, good, Aaron. How are you?
Great. Excited to talk. So can you start by giving us a quick update on Aftermath Silver, what you guys have been up to?
Yeah, we're just we're getting ready to launch our programs in both Barranquilla and Chayacuyo in Chile and Barranquilla in Peru. So we should have announcements out shortly on exactly what those programs will entail. We've applied for our permits. That's always the first step. But as far as Chayacuyo in Chile, we hope to have the drills turning as soon as late August, beginning of September. And then hopefully at Barranquilla a little bit later on this year. And they'll be both substantive programs. So it'll be good to have some news out at that point from drills. So that's what we're looking forward to.
Definitely, yeah, I'm excited to cover it. So as we know, Aftermath Silver is one of the most significant silver development stories out there, yet your value has slipped. I've been following the shares very closely. Could this be due to elections? And can you tell us more about this and how, they've affected the company?
Yeah, look, I think the elephant in the room was definitely the last, call it 90, 120 days, was the Peruvian elections, which they've recently had. And Pedro Castillo won, who was the left of center candidate, beat Kiki Fujimori. It's still close, and he hasn't been declared president, but our understanding is he will be. And I think what the capital markets took it was a knee-jerk reaction to a left of center candidate. Now, I understand why, because initially he was almost talking about Marxist rhetoric in Peru. Since then, and this generally happens in Peru when you get a left of center candidate, they tend to move to the center, be a little bit more moderate in order to get elected. Now, I think a lot of people in Peru are waiting to see who he is going to put in his cabinet. That'll be a good indicator. Is he listening to the more centralist part of his party, or is he listening to the far left? Indications are it's more centralist, which is good for the industry. You don't want anyone in, you don't want another Venezuela, obviously, or even an Ecuador. So we'll see which direction he is going to go, but indications are, it looks like for the mining industry, we will be able to work with him. He is talking about more prudent taxes on mining. And, if you read between the lines, I think prudent taxes means that we will see an increase in royalties. But having said that, I think you're going to see an increase of royalties worldwide. Problem with the extraction industries is they're not like manufacturing. You can't close a plant and move it. So we're a bit beholden to the government. And what that means is we've got to argue that we can only sustain so many taxes, or we can't proceed with financing our projects. And I think they're listening. They understand that mining is a significant component to Peru's economy. They can't kill the goose that laid the proverbial golden egg, and I don't expect them to. But a Castillo victory was a bit of the air left the room, and it was viewed as negative. I think it's going to be bumpy for 6 months to a year until we see that, okay, we can in fact work there. Capital can be raised there and projects can be permitted there. I think, Aaron, it's key to point out, Castillo's not anti-mining. He just wants to see more money trickle down to the local communities. And really, as an industry, we shouldn't have a problem with that. With these higher metal prices, we have to make sure that the monies do go to the countries that we're extracting the resources from in a sound, competent manner. And I think you'll see that going forward. Look, if everything works and these metal prices hold, we don't have an issue paying more taxes, more royalties, as long as it makes sense economically. And, from our point of view, we're a silver development company. before we be faced with those type of issues, a lot of water has to flow under the bridge. You know, at Barangila, we're going to put out our pre-feasibility study. You know, we'll factor in those numbers, and then you go from pre-fees to fees, and then, you know, it becomes really relevant what the government taxation is, and can you raise money for your project based on those numbers. And from what I'm seeing, I'm optimistic that everything will be okay. Chile's a little bit different story. They're from what I've seen, when you and they've got an election coming up in November, I believe, that could go to the more left of center candidate. But when Chile goes left of center, it's not as draconian as you historically have seen in Peru. We can work with the mining with the government there. They can work with the mining industry. You know, they originally recently talked about increasing royalties and I believe a windfall profits tax, but there was significant pushback from industry and in the capital markets. You know, they would end up shuttering 7 or 8 of their big mines in Chile. That's not what the government wanted to do, or that wasn't the goal of their proposed legislation. So that's all been backed off. I think they're going to have a new constitution. It'll be interesting to see how they handle mining. I think once again, you could see some increase in royalties, but Chile, as in Peru, is, you know, mining is viewed as a significant lever to the economy. You know, we just need certainty. We can't raise capital without certainty, and Peru and Chile have always had that. Primarily, especially Chile, I don't think that will change. So, as people realize that these 2 Latin American countries are still a good place to do business, I think you see a lot of value come back into the stock. You know, from a fundamental point of view, they're both big ore bodies with significant potential, and you know, they look like they could be open pittable ore bodies, which is going to be key. Now we will, as we go to a PEA at Chayacoyo, pre-feasibility at Barangila, you'll be able to confirm that. But conceptually, that's what we're looking at. And if you look at the silver space, there just aren't many larger silver open pit mines or even ore bodies, especially ones that work at lower silver prices. So, you know, I'd like to think we're in a little bit of a niche, and we should be on people's radar as they develop a comfort level with the politics. But, you know, as I mentioned at the beginning of your question to my long-winded answer, I think you're going to see this. This isn't just germane to Latin America or Peru, Chile. The world is changing, and as an industry, we have to be prepared to deal with it. So, yeah, going forward, I think we're fine.
Definitely, no, that's great, and I'm sure that's the update that the viewers were most concerned about. Was
I hope so.
wanted to hear your your opinion and explanation on the politics. So thanks for that. So with politics aside now, can you give us an update on your drill programs at Barangila and Chayacoyo?
Yeah, at Chayacoyo, I'll address that first. We're looking at drill testing, what we call the hanging wall. So originally, Chayacoyo was viewed as an underground operation. Our first round of drilling is going to further demonstrate that it could be an open pit. So we will drill the mineralization above the main vein, and then put that in eventually into the PEA, which could be 12 to 18 months away. But it'll largely going to show our thesis. Now, we recently put out an update on the resource and included some of the hanging wall mineralization, and we do. It looks like those pits. We have a conceptual open pit at Chayacoyo. This round of drilling will further those results and hopefully increase the resource. The ultimate goal there is to have a 10-year mine life with let's call it 4 to 6 million ounces per annum of silver production, preferably 6 million. So that's the goal. That's where we're heading with this round of drilling. And it's nice to find, I would suggest COVID put us back about almost a year. It was difficult to get on the ground even for our local people, and now we can work around it. It tends to be a little bit of a moving target, but we're just getting ready to pick a drilling company there and move forward. At Barranquilla, we're just getting ready to apply for our permits. And fortunately, we can, as at Chayacoyo, we can work off the existing drill pads largely, which expedites the process. The engineers, geologists are sort of picking the drill where we're going to drill right now. At Barranquilla, it's going to be largely infill drilling. And the reason for that is there's already a significant amount of mineralization there. I think from a geological point of view, in our mind, it's been de-risked. There's enough ore. Now, that's not to say we're not going to find more, because we will. I believe it's open, and it's right at surface. It's a flat-lying structure. Our drilling's probably going to extend 100, 120 meters. It's not deep, which is good, and there's not a lot of overburden. So, your potential strip ratio theoretically is going to be really good there. So I like to think geologically, it's been de-risked. From an engineering point of view, one could argue the same. It would be, with a low strip ratio, which we'll be able to demonstrate through this round of drilling in our economic studies. I don't think you have any worries there. Where it'll get interesting is on the metallurgical side, and a lot of the drilling at Barranquilla will be developed around that. So we're just waiting to hear from our engineers where we need to place the drills in order to be able to come up with the samples that'll be required. Because there's three metals there essentially. You've got your copper, which is 45 million tons, 0.7% historically, and your silver, which is been measured and indicated, close to 100 million ounces with a further 20 in inferred. But your grade's around 100 grams. But in an open pit scenario, I think that works really well, especially when you have a negligible strip ratio, which we hope to demonstrate. But and then you've got manganese. Now, manganese is the wild card here, because if in our minds, if all we were able to monetize would be the silver and copper, I think you have a very significant ore body. But if we can demonstrate that we can monetize manganese as well, then it's kind of off the hook. So that's what we're working on, is to demonstrate that we can get paid for the manganese. Now, there's different methodologies for processing it. This round and the metallurgical work will largely dictate which direction we go there. Do you produce a metal? Do you produce a dioxide, a sulfate? And then you have to weigh the costs of each, and then determining going forward at PFS level, we'll know exactly what we're going to do and what those numbers mean. But it's going to be good. It's going to be, we're eager to get going on it. Like Chile, it was tough getting on the ground in Peru due to COVID. Largely, I think now we can do workarounds, and we're ready to go, and we'll be picking a drill company shortly.
That's exciting. Sounds like lots of news on the way.
Yeah, I think that's key. I think we've, some of our criticism was lack of news flow, and Aaron, it's sometimes difficult on a development story over, say, a pure exploration. A pure exploration story is a lot more simple. You have your drill targets identified, you get out, get the drill on, there are your results. On a development story, there's a lot more pieces and a lot more moving parts that you have to work with your engineers in order to get ready to drill and to get your programs moving forward, because you've got to put a pre-feasibility study together. That requires significant drilling, significant engineering and geology. So you need to do geotechnical work to plan how the processing goes. We do our metallurgical work, and we also hope to get to some step outs and see exactly what we're dealing with. There's a a couple, really exciting exploration targets at Barangila that we'd like to get some drills in as well. That one in particular is close to the Barangila ore body. We're seeing some of the best results to date, and as they say, the drill is the truth machine. A lot of things look good two-dimensionally with either soils or geophysics, but when you put a drill in, you generally know what you're dealing with, and that's where we need to be. Yeah,
exactly. Now that the world is opening up, are COVID restrictions still affecting business?
Yes and no. It's you can still, we're being able to launch our programs where a year ago that was impossible. It's difficult to get our Canadian technical people down there, a little bit harder, but we've got our Peruvian teams put together, and they'll be able to carry out the programs for us. So we're okay from that point of view. We're close to announcing a vice president of community relations, which is, Peru's a lot about, we talked about the politics there, but it's also about the social programs, making sure you have the support of the local communities. To date at Barangila, we've seen that, but if I think hopefully we'll be having this discussion in, down the road, but as that ore body's demonstrated the overall size potential, I think you get more groups focusing on the project, and you have to have the answer. You have to be able to address water concerns, local communities, how do they impact it? So that's a key hire for us, and it's definitely a member of senior management. And going forward, I think it's another signal to the market that Barangila is definitely going to be on the right track.
Awesome. So now a quick chat on silver. So what are your thoughts on the current price, and where do you think we might end the year going into next year?
Oh, that's a good question. The simple answer is I don't know. I have trouble. Silver never seems to trade on its fundamentals. And what I have seen is there's been a shift in the people buying silver. There's a segment that now focuses on silver even over gold, because I don't want to say a green metal, but as a metal that's used in electrification and in solar panels and electric cars. There's a lot of people following the commodity based on that never did previously. So from that point of view, it trades like an industrial metal, which is good to see fundamentally. And then it still has its precious component, where if you see a big spike in the gold price, I guess my question to you, what do you think gold will do over the next 6 months? Silver generally mirrors it. I think the silver to gold ratio is on average what it's been historically. So it has quite a bit of room to move. From a company point of view, when we're sitting around the boardroom, we love these silver prices. When we look at projects, we look at them, sub $20 silver, where it's historically been. The leverage afforded between sub 20 and where we are now, I believe, is tremendous. But having said that, if I had to guess, I think by the end of the year you could see $30 silver. And if you see $30 silver, guys ask me, can it go to 50? The odds of silver going to 50 are far greater in my mind than gold going to 4,000. So that's what I like about the silver, is it affords tremendous leverage. You could see a double in the metal price from here, where a double in the gold price, I would say something has terribly gone wrong probably. To see $4,000 gold, maybe we were in a situation of hyperinflation. So for those of us that hold the commodities or the companies exposed to it, that's probably good. But for our fellow compatriots, it's not a good scenario, in my mind.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, we've seen gold hit fresh highs. We haven't seen silver get anywhere close to that previous all-time high. So, and not
I think it's our largest shareholder is Eric Sprott, and I think Eric is certainly a big proponent of silver north of 80, if not over 100. So if that happens, we're in a different realm. You know,
Yeah.
you saw what happened when silver went to 25. I think
Yeah.
it surprised a lot of the anti-silver people that
Hmm.
silver is held at these levels. It seems fairly resilient. But you know, if you look at the space, a lot of the problem with it is if right now if you had to finance a silver mine, I think you would be looking at probably using $18 silver long-term consensus pricing.
Hmm.
So we need to see that move up to higher levels. But a lot of these operations tend to not work sub 20, and so from a corporate point of view in the boardroom, you know, we always look, okay, the glass is half empty. What happens here? If it does move up, it's just gravy, and uh, the leverage is crazy. That even a $5 move in the silver price, what it does to some of these ore bodies is crazy.
No, definitely. So finally, where's the best place for investors or my viewers who want more information about Aftermath Silver? Where should they go?
www.aftermathsilver.com. I guess I don't need to say triple W anymore. Aftermathsilver.com.
Great, Michael. Well,
Also,
well, thank you so much for the updates. I was looking forward to this, and it's nice to get an update on the politics and the drill program. I think those are the two most important things, and
they are.
look forward to having you back for some more after.
Yeah, when we let me get some drills into the ground, and we'll have another conversation.
Wonderful. Sounds great. Hope you have a great day.
Yeah, have a good afternoon. Thanks, Aaron.
All right, guys, that wraps up the video. Thank you so much for watching. I just wanted to say, if you do support me, the channel, and all these videos, then kindly smash that like button along with hitting the subscribe button and the bell for notifications for future videos. I did also want to say, check the disclaimer down below. This video was sponsored by the company that we are talking about today. So check the disclaimer, full disclosure, and we're out of here. Always remember, guys, Departures Capital is for information, education, and entertainment purposes only. Don't buy or sell a stock because you heard it on here. Buy or sell a stock because you've done your research, you've done your thorough due diligence, and you make your own personal investment decisions for yourself. This video is not financial advice. We'll see you guys in our next video.